Hey guys, welcome back to Roll for Cake. No, I'm not wearing a shirt, and no, I won't put one on. But if we hit 1,000 subscribers, I may not be wearing any pants either, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Now here at Roll for Cake, we use the wheel of the dice, my skills as an amateur baker, and my taste buds as a human being to create, bake, taste, and rate weird and wacky cake flavor combinations. Now, for those new to the channel, my name is Christian, and as I said before, I'm an amateur baker. I'm also a massive geek and a professional chemist, which means I love games and experimentation. Due to legal reasons and a particular incident that I cannot disclose, the closest thing I can get to a lab is my kitchen. Now, to get you up to speed on what we do here, at the end of last week's episode, we rolled 4 dice, each one related to a category: cake type, cake flavor, frosting type, and frosting flavor. And we set ourselves a goal to create whatever heinous monstrosity came out as a result of those dice rolls. Now, a quick refresh on the rolls of last week. We rolled a pistachio angel food cake with a Nutella Swiss meringue buttercream. Now, my initial thoughts going into this was, can I handle the taste of 2 different nuts? But Mama didn't raise no quitter, so you're damn right I can. To give you an idea of the task ahead of us, let me break down these cake types and frosting types so you can kind of see what we have to deal with. Now, an angel food cake is a very light and airy cake. It looks kind of like this, very similar to a chiffon, which looks like this. Chiffon uses egg yolks as well as whipped egg whites, whereas the angel food cake just uses a lot of egg whites. That's what gives it the rise, gives it the height. So it's a very light, airy, tasty cake. Now, those of you who watched episode 1 will remember we made a chiffon cake. Those of you who don't know, what are you doing here? This is episode 3. Go watch episode 1. You may be aware that the chiffon cake was baked in a very specific pan. So, does this look familiar? It shouldn't, because this is a bundt pan, not a chiffon pan. We don't use this. We use this. This is a chiffon pan, or an angel food pan, or a tube pan. It's very light, aluminium, very thin, and like my friend Anthony, its bottom falls out. Don't worry, bro, I'm sure the 3rd surgery will do it. Now, the angel food cake, like I said before, is predominantly made with egg whites, and they're whipped to not stiff peaks like you would with a meringue, just to soft peaks. So now this might be difficult to come to terms with, but we don't want it stiff. We actually want these soft in this case. So soft peaks look something like this, stiff peaks like this. They tend to droop down once you've pulled them out of the mix, whereas the stiff peaks start to maintain their form. In addition to the egg whites, we also add obviously sugar, cream of tartar to try and help maintain the structure of the egg whites, and then cake flour. Cake flour is what's gonna add some of that structure and texture and actually give it a cake-like consistency rather than just a meringue. If I do this right, it should have a very light, tasty inside with a chewy, dark crumb on the outside. So fingers crossed, I can do it justice. Now, what makes this cake type and frosting type flavor so interesting is that the frosting is also made by whipping egg whites, but into stiff peaks. And as I said in the previous episode, different to an American buttercream, which is icing sugar into butter, so very heavy and very sweet. A Swiss meringue buttercream is made differently to that. So you whip the egg whites into stiff peaks, and then you incorporate the butter into the egg whites. So you end up with just a very creamy, flavorful meringue versus a very sweet, grainy like buttercream. So we have a very light, very airy, flavorful cake with a also very light, very creamy, flavorful frosting. So hopefully this combination works better than last week's. Sorry, spoilers, but you're on episode 3. If you haven't seen episode 2, that's on you. Now, my only main concerns going into this is that we have 2 very light, delicate formulations with the cake type and the frosting type. So I was concerned about the ability to incorporate the flavors that we wanted to into these mixtures without affecting the textures too much. So there is a chance this all completely ends in disaster, but that's what Roll for Cake is here for the good and for the bad. So in terms of flavor for the angel food cake, because it is so much more delicate, in this case I opted for the pistachio essence in order to flavor that. So I'm gonna replace the vanilla essence in a standard recipe with the pistachio essence. Now the Swiss meringue buttercream is a little more forgiving than the angel food cake, so I'll be whipping Nutella directly into that buttercream, but you know your boy loves his nut. I bought some choc hazelnut essences just in case. Okay, I think that about covers it. I think we're all up to speed on what we do here, the tasks that we have ahead of us. So let's bake this, shall we? We'll start by preheating your oven to 160 degrees Celsius or 325 freedom units and ensure your rack is in the lower middle position. Next, add 150 grams or 3/4 cup of caster sugar to a food processor. Now to the same food processor, add 133 grams or 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of cake flour and 1.5 grams or 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and pulse 5 to 10 times until our dry ingredients are well incorporated and aerated. Now, set up a stand mixer or use a hand mixer and whip 12 room temperature egg whites along with 4.5 grams or 1.5 teaspoons of cream of tartar. Now, cream of tartar is really important in this recipe because it helps to create that structure and increase the stability of the egg whites. So what it does is it lowers the pH or increases the acidity within the egg white foam, which allows a strengthening of bonds of the proteins, which encapsulate the air bubbles. So once you create those air bubbles, they're kind of just trapped within that mixture. So very important, cream of tartar is very necessary to make sure we get that rise and keep that texture and rise within the cake. Whip this mixture on medium-low until foamy, approximately 1 minute, and then we're going to increase the speed to medium-high and slowly add 200 grams or 1 cup of caster sugar in increments. Whip for a further 5 to 6 minutes until the egg whites begin to stiffen. Now once the egg whites are at soft peaks, not stiff, we'll then add 5 mils or 1 teaspoon of pistachio essence. And because I really want that green pistachio flavor, I just think it'll contrast against the brown Nutella buttercream. I'm gonna add food coloring and I'm gonna mix it well until I reach that desired pale green color. Hopefully I don't make this a sickly Hulk green. Next, in 3 or more additions, slowly sift in and gently fold the dry ingredients into the egg whites to ensure that we don't deflate them. Take your time with this as it's super important. If it takes more than 3 additions, that's fine. The more the better. We just make sure we maintain a lot of that air in that egg mixture. Pour and spread this mixture into our ungreased angel food cake pan and twist, don't tap. We want to try and maintain all that air in there, the pan, to ensure it spreads evenly. Bake in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. It's a good idea to rotate your pan halfway through to ensure even cooking as well. Once removed from the oven, cool upside down on a wire rack. Cool, our cake is done. So while that's cooling, I think it's about time we made our Swiss meringue buttercream. We're gonna start by adding 3 egg whites, roughly 90 grams, into a heat-proof bowl, and we're gonna whisk in 200 grams or 1 cup of caster sugar. We're gonna set this bowl over a saucepan of simmering water. Make sure the bottom of the bowl doesn't touch the water because it's gonna cook the eggs. And we're gonna whisk this mixture constantly until it's thinned out, roughly 4 minutes or so, until it reaches a temperature of 71 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. We're then going to transfer this mixture to the bowl of a stand mixer fitted with the whisk attachment, and we'll whisk on medium-high speed, and this time we want stiff peaks. And this can take a while, it can take up to 10 to 15 minutes. Now this is going to be quite warm and we want to incorporate our butter into this, so we have to ensure that it cools to room temperature before we start to add the butter, otherwise the butter's just going to melt and it won't incorporate into the mixture and it will start to split. So let it cool first, then we'll start adding our butter. Now, we'll switch out the whisk attachment for the paddle attachment, and we're gonna add a total of 170 grams or 3/4 cup of unsalted butter. Once it's all mixed together, we'll reduce the speed to medium, and we're gonna add in 112 grams or 1/2 cup of Nutella. I'm gonna add 5 mils or 1 teaspoon of hazelnut chocolate essence because I really wanna make sure that flavor shines. And then just a pinch of salt as a flavor enhancer. Mix that for about 30 seconds until it's all completely combined. Now, as I have mentioned before, these are not my recipes. I just make the tweaks here and there to create our flavor combinations. I will add the links to the original recipes in the description below. These recipes have lots of tips and tricks, how to problem solve and get through the recipes. Mine's a very basic coverage of it, so I would suggest if you are going to make these recipes, follow the links, follow their instructions, and give those creators some love because they're the ones that actually design these recipes. I just mess with them for entertainment value. So give them some love if you want to make these yourselves. But again, at the end of the video, I'll let you know whether it's worth doing so or not. Okay, the baking is done. The cake and the buttercream are done. Thoughts on the process? The angel food cake came together really easily. The goal to get the pistachio flavor using the pistachio essence. The oils that we get are far stronger than just a standard vanilla essence. It is giving off a very strong, almost fakey kind of smell, so I'm a little concerned, but hopefully it tastes okay, we'll see. The Swiss Meringue Buttercream, which is a notoriously difficult thing to sometimes get to whip up, came together perfectly, and the addition of the Nutella and then the choc hazelnut essence as well didn't impact it whatsoever, so I'm very excited to put this all over the cake. Now, some of you with a keen eye may have seen when I was pulling the cake out of the oven that there was also a cupcake tray in there as well. When I made the recipe for the cake and I was putting it into the pan, there was far more batter than I thought there was supposed to be, so maybe my pan is smaller than the recipe recommended, and rather than just put all of it in there, I scooped the excess out knowing that it would rise, and I scooped the excess into cupcake molds, and I have made angel food cupcakes, which has given me something to do with all my excess cream. Okay, so now it's time to decorate, and as I've said, not my strong suit, but we have some little angel food cupcakes to decorate as well. We have our angel food cake. Now, it was so sensitive that when I tipped it over to cool on the cooling rack, part of it was actually taken off by the cooling rack, so it doesn't have that perfect look. But luckily, we're actually using buttercream, which we don't normally do with these cakes, so I get to cover that up and make it look nice and pretty with this silky smooth Nutella Swiss Meringue Buttercream, which just looks absolutely phenomenal. I am very, very excited to put these together. So it is time to decorate, plate, cut, taste, and rate the, what was it again? Pistachio angel food cake with the Nutella Swiss Meringue Buttercream. Okay, like I said in the previous episode, decoration is not my strong suit, but I thought it'd be fun to get some pistachio spread and some crushed pistachios on top of this just to make it look extra pretty. My goal to get it to look like that pistachio spread based color didn't turn out too well. It's now a pale green, which makes it look kind of sickly, which kind of matches the smell at the moment as well, so that's one thing I'm thinking going in, but the buttercream looks really, really good, so I'm very excited to try this. There's only one thing left to do, is to try this cake. All right. Try and take a smaller bite this time. That sickly, almost chemically flavor of the pistachio is actually really strong. The angel food cake is really light. It's a really nice texture, but the pistachio essence just gives it this weird fake taste. It's not great, I'll be honest. And it doesn't look great either, being that weird green color. It's really strong, and I think even if you used half of the essence, it would still give you that flavor, it just wouldn't be as strong. But I need to try this buttercream, because the flavor, that weird sickly sweet flavor of the pistachio, is overpowering anything else to do with this buttercream. Oh boy, that's the stuff. Oh my God, oh yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Don't make the cake, just make the buttercream. Just eat that out of the bowl. That buttercream is awesome. It just tastes like a creamier, lighter Nutella. Like Nutella can get any better. That's disappointing. I have a whole lot of this cake to eat now as well. Like, it's really light and really sweet, and it's not very heavy, so it's nice to eat, but it just has this weird, sickly kind of flavor. I don't know how I feel about it. That buttercream is amazing. It's really, really good by itself, but just the weird sickly flavor from that pistachio just kind of overpowers it entirely. And like I said, even if you used half of the essence, you'd still get that flavor. So I don't think the essence is great, which means incorporating pistachio into an angel food cake is going to be really difficult. Potentially using a spread like the pistachio spreads like I used on the top of this might be a way to get it in there, but angel food cake is so light and delicate, I think you run the risk of actually destroying the cake. So I think this one probably a fail in regards to the pistachio flavor in with the angel food cake, but that Swiss meringue buttercream, oh yeah, that's a definite win. That's an amazing, amazing frosting. Like I said, it's an improvement on Nutella, which I didn't think was possible. How do you get a lighter, sweeter, airier, tastier Nutella? That's the whole downside to Nutella, is sometimes it just feels so fatty and thick and heavy, but we've actually made it better. So I would make this buttercream. It would go amazing on pretty much anything, except this pistachio cake, obviously. But I'll be back soon with my final review. Okay, now it's time to actually rate the cake. First, we'll start with flavor. The flavor of the buttercream is phenomenal. It's an improvement on Nutella, which I didn't think was possible. So really, really great. I'd probably put it at probably an 8. Really, really tasty buttercream. I mean, it could probably be a little better, but 8 is, yeah, it's great. The taste of pistachio cake is not good. Like, I'll eat it, but I love cake, so that's not really saying anything. But the actual taste of it is not great. I think if you halve the essence, it would be less prominent, that weird chemically kind of flavor, but you'd still have that flavor. That flavor itself is just not nice. I think if you were to make this angel food cake pistachio, you would have to find another way of getting that pistachio flavor, probably through the spreads, but the risk you take then is that you're gonna collapse the angel food cake. So pistachio and angel food, I don't think mix. I'd probably put it at a 2, an 8, 2. Like the overall flavor of the cake, because the pistachio is so strong and so overpowering, I don't think it makes up for the 8 from the buttercream. So I'd probably give it a 4 total for flavor. Texture-wise, actually really good. You've got a really nice light cake. Pity it tastes terrible. And then you've got this really nice light buttercream. So texturally, I mean, I'd probably put it at a 9. I don't think I can do 10, so I just think that's possible. But I'd probably put texture at a 9 because it's beautiful. Like, it's this creaminess into this light cake is really nice. It's a really pleasant eat. So texture, great, 9. So it puts us at 13, and then flavor cohesion. On paper, pistachio and Nutella should go really, really well, but this doesn't taste like pistachio. This tastes like some weird fake chemical. If it tasted like that pistachio spread that's on top, I think you'd have a really, really good combination, but getting that flavor into an angel food cake is tough. But that's why we do what we do here on Roll for Cake. So flavor cohesion, that weird chemically kind of pistachio, and then the Nutella, not good. So I'd probably put it at a 2. I think they probably could be worse, but it is still pretty bad. So it gives us a total of 15 out of 30. So that gives us a total score of 5. So far, that is our worst. I think 5 is too high for this, to be honest. If it wasn't for how good this Nutella buttercream is, this would be far lower down the list. But so far, this is our worst. I would love to make this Nutella Swiss meringue buttercream just to put on anything else, literally anything else. It is so good. Make a plain angel food cake without the weird flavorings and chuck this on top. It's just texturally great, and that it'll allow that Nutella buttercream to shine without getting overpowered by this weird fake pistachio. So, well, they can't all be winners. And that's, I guess, you know, what we do here. So we thought this was going to just be a home run with pistachio and Nutella, but unfortunately, that is not how the cards landed this time. But on that note, it's time to find out what we're dealing with next time and to roll for next week's cake. Let's start with cake type. 3, cheese set. So a no-bake cheesecake. Flavor. Chocolate. Okay, chocolate cheesecake. Frosting type. 5. Cream cheese. Oh my god. And then frosting flavor. 13. Pistachio. Okay, back for redemption. Okay, That about wraps up episode 3, the pistachio angel food cake with Nutella Swiss meringue buttercream. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you get notifications when I upload new videos. Obviously, we have rolled for next week's cake, which is a chocolate cheesecake with a pistachio cream cheese frosting. So pistachio is back for redemption. I won't be using those essences and oils. I'm going to use the pistachio spread, which I think is going to be far easier to whip through a cream cheese frosting. So this should hopefully work out well. It's going to be a lot of cheese, so if you're lactose intolerant, it's probably not going to be the best cake for you, but I'm still very excited to make this, as I am every single week. Very excited to try it. Stay tuned for that. Very excited for it, and I'll see you guys next week for the chocolate cheesecake with a pistachio cream cheese frosting.